Ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time.
Traptendo.
What is going on, everybody? DJ Av here, and today we're checking out the Arturia V Collection 8, which is a collection of vintage gear emulated into VST plugins for your favorite DAW of choice on both Windows and Mac, so you guys don't have to worry about it working on your computer or not. So with that being said, I'm going to cook up using the MPC Beat software and the MPC2. I'm going to check out some of the sounds, and then on top of that, I'll weigh in with my pros and cons, and we'll see if it is good or not. So let's begin. Before we get started, one of the things I want to point out is this plugin collection is massive, and if you have a DAW like mine, you can sort by the manufacturer, which will help, because if you have a ton of plugins, it will be difficult to find all the Arturia stuff. So if you have a sort by manufacturer filter, I highly recommend using that. So I'm going to pull up some of the new cool plugins from the Arturia collection here, and one of the main ones that I really like is the vocoder. There's also a Juno plugin and an Emulator 2 plugin that are brand new. So let's pull up the vocoder and see what that is about. I'm gonna pull up the UI, and one of the main questions that people will ask me is, hey, is this CPU intensive? Well, it just depends on your CPU, how old your computer is. If you have a computer past about 5 years now and you haven't renewed it, or a laptop especially, it's time to get a new laptop. That's what it is. Like, quad core is not going to deal with a lot of the stuff that the V collection handles, and that's one of the things that I want to be transparent about. So but anyways, this is pretty cool. Let's hear it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like it. It's full sounding. It sounds pretty cool. I do have the volume a little lower because I didn't want it to overwhelm my vocals. So let me go ahead and lock in for you guys real quick. I'll turn it up and let's hear that again. Oscillator synchronize. So yeah, it's very beefy, and that's one of the things I like about the Arturia V collection. You can't really go wrong. And the main thing that a lot of people like are the presets. So going through some more of them, just a little sneak peek here of some of the sounds here. Yeah. You know it's brand new. Get down in the lower ranges. That might not be loud enough, but let's go ahead and put this at 0 here. I don't want it to be too loud, but noticing a little bit of noise in the characteristic. That's actually pretty cool that they emulated some of the VCO noise that you would hear. I'm gonna mess with some of the strings on here. I'm gonna use my pads. This. Let's check out some of the sequencer categories to see how deep they go. Let's see if it's by BPM. I got it at 62. So it's 62 your BPM of your DAW, so that's actually a good sign. I guess the best way to put this is the Emulator 2 is much like the Mellotron, but in this sense that it pulls up samples via floppy disk, so it was more modern for its time. And as you can see on the UI itself, it's pretty clear that, yeah, you had to pull up samples and plug it up to a CRT screen. And yes, if you click on this right here, it does that. And, and then you'll start to see kind of the power that you can do with this, and you can also edit and pull up different waveforms, and then you can change the screen back to what you want as far as the emulator and all that stuff. So that's actually pretty dope. That's one of the dopest things about this Arturia collection is you can do that not only with this plugin, but with many other ones depending on what you're using. So tell me how you feel about this video. I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments section. Just weigh in with your hot takes because I'm going to weigh in with mine. My first hot take is, as far as my pros, nothing much has changed, and that's good. And they added some extra on top of the things that they had in this collection of vintage sounds. I think it sounds really, really good. The collection of presets are on the money, and I think that's the main thing that a lot of people want to use these collections for. The amount of sound design you can do with this is really good too as well. I will have to explore those in separate videos because, you know, when I get into the sound design stuff, yeah, it gets a little lengthy. But cons, I do think that it is a bit CPU intensive if you're on a quad core processor in 2020. On a hexa-core processor, it's not that bad, but yeah, that's always been the thing with the V collection. So be leery of that. I want to point that out. I know there was a little bit of outrage about the upgrading price if you bought the V Collection 7 like recently. I think either after Black Friday, because during Black Friday it was extremely cheap. So, you know, there were some people that were hit me up on Twitter saying, oh man, well, Arturia ripped me off because now the V Collection 8 is out and I want the 4 new VST plugins and so forth. And yeah, sometimes we miss out on things. I mean, if I can go back to about 2009 or 10, yeah, I'm about that old. I could talk about updating Atmosphere into Omnisphere, which a lot of people think that Omnisphere was Omnisphere forever. I know I might be pronouncing it wrong, but whatever. You get the vibes here. But yeah, it was very, very expensive then, and it's still expensive now if you're trying to get Omnisphere and so forth. And you know, there's other things too as well that I could complain about, but you know, price is a price, and you have your choice to either spend your money or not. And that's one of the things that I want to tell you guys, and that's what I preach in my videos. Even if it's a review, I think it's important that you do not just take my word as face value, and that's the main thing that's important about these reviews, is that you can weigh in with your hot takes, and you know, we can all talk as a community and whatnot. And Arturia is a pretty damn good company, to be honest. Do I give this the stamp of approval? Well, I'll come in with a 90% yes.
Nintendo.